Don't you dare, ref. That's he got the ball. Good morning, Tottenham fans around the world, and tonight Tottenham Hotspur are back in Europa League action as we travel deep into the Arctic Circle to face Bodø Glimt at the Aspmyra Stadion in the second leg of the Europa League semi-final. Last Thursday's 3-1 win in North London gave us a crucial advantage and leaves us on the brink of the Europa League final, but that late goal from the Norwegians was more than just a consolation, it was a warning. Bodø Glimt aren't done yet and they will not go down without a fight. And this trip to Norway does present challenges for Tottenham Hotspur: the artificial surface, the sub-zero temperatures, a home side welcoming them back, all their star players, and we have a growing injury list to contend with. But despite all of that, Tottenham hold a 2-goal cushion and we are just 90 minutes from our first European final in 6 years, and our destiny, our fate is in our own hands. So with everything on the line, here's the lineup that I think Postecoglou will go with tonight out in Norway. In goal, Postecoglou is expected to stick with Guglielmo Vicario. Now, since returning from injury, Vicario's form has been noticeably shaky. Errors against Wolves, Forest, Bodø Glimt, and most recently West Ham has raised questions about his confidence, but also his ability as Tottenham Hotspur's number one long term. However, tonight there is no room for error from Vicario. Bodø Glimt are the top scorers at home in this season's Europa League with 19 goals to their name, more than any other side. So Vicario will likely be tested a number of times tonight and will need to deliver a far more composed and assured performance between the sticks. And with just 2 clean sheets since early February, defensive solidity has been hard to come by, and Vicario's shot stopping will be absolutely crucial tonight if Spurs are to survive the Arctic onslaught and reach the Europa League final. At left back, Destiny Udogie is expected to reclaim his spot tonight, with Jed Spence dropping out after yet another shaky performance against West Ham. Spence did fail to track Jarrod Bowen for West Ham United's equaliser at the weekend, and to be honest with you, he has looked off the pace since falling down the pecking order again under Postecoglou and missing out on England's selection. With Destiny Udogie, however, we know exactly what we're going to get: pace, power and constant overlapping runs beyond the winger. And Udogie is absolutely excellent at getting into dangerous positions down the flank, but his final ball still leaves a lot to be desired, and he could contribute a lot more going forward if he was to improve that. Defensively, however, he is solid for the most part, but there are occasional lapses in concentration which can cost us, like just before half-time in the first leg, with Bodø Glimt nearly fashioning an equaliser which came down his side. In a tight away game like this, any repeat could prove costly on the night, so he needs to remain focused. At right back, Pedro Porro is expected to return after being rested again at the weekend, and Porro remains a key figure down this right hand side, and with James Maddison being out, his attacking contributions will become even more important tonight. In fairness to Porro, his delivery down that right hand side has been excellent for the majority of this season, and he offers a lot of creativity when he pushes forward. And in the first leg, he played a crucial role that night, delivering the cross for the opener and picking out Maddison with a perfectly weighted ball for our second goal. When Porro is on the ball, he is one of our most creative outlets, capable of unlocking a tight defence with his delivery and vision, and hopefully he can do the same tonight. However, as effective as he is going forward, Porro does remain a defensive target for nearly every opposition we have played this season, and Bodø Glimt will likely test him again. What he can't afford to do is back off, wait for cover. He has to go out and engage the winger, and he has to be aggressive in his duels, especially with Bodø's intensity that they're going to play with on their home turf. And this is one of those games for Pedro Porro. It's a big game. He has to strike the perfect balance of contributing creativity going forward while also staying sharp and switched on defensively. And if he can do that, he will be one of our most crucial players tonight if we want to make it to the final. At right-sided centre-back, Christian Romero will return to the lineup with Kevin Danso dropping out. In fairness to Christian Romero, he was a rock at the back in the second leg away to Frankfurt, a night when Spurs needed him to dig deep defensively, and we're going to need the exact same level of maturity and discipline from Romero here again tonight. This is not the night for reckless tackles or moments of madness like we saw in the first leg. He picked up a stupid yellow card. Instead, Romero must lead this back line with composure and authority tonight. All eyes will be on danger man Kasper Høeg tonight, Bodø Glimt's top scorer with 7 goals in the competition, 6 of which has come at the Aspmyra Stadium. He's deadly on home turf, and Romero's controlled aggression will be absolutely vital in shutting this guy down. He can't allow Høeg the space or confidence to grow into the game. Anytime he gets that ball, Romero needs to be up behind him and hit him nice and hard. Now, leading into this game, off the pitch, there's been growing speculation around Romero's future, with reports hitting that a move is already in the works with Atletico Madrid. But to Romero's credit, none of that has affected his performances in the Europa League anyway. He's been one of our most consistent players in the knockout rounds. It was Romero's long ball that released Madison for the penalty away in Frankfurt, and he also won the spot kick in the first leg against Bodo while defending excellently in both games. So if Spurs are again to reach the final in Bilbao, we'll need another big performance from Romero tonight. At left-sided centre-back, Mickey van de Ven is expected to return and partner Christian Romero in defence, with Ben Davies dropping out after struggling at the weekend. Coming into this game, Bodø Glimt centre-back has made headlines in the build-up by highlighting how the artificial pitch speeds up the game, making it harder for the defenders to close down the attackers. And that's exactly why Mickey van de Ven's recovery pace is going to be vital tonight. Bodø Glimt thrive on fast, direct football in front of their home fans, and Mickey's ability to be able to cover ground and make recovery tackles could prove decisive in keeping the likes of Kasper Høeg quiet tonight. However, that said, the risk of injury on an artificial surface is always a concern, especially with a player with a history of hamstring injuries. Let's hope though he gets through the 90 minutes unscathed, but Kevin Danso should absolutely be prepared to be ready to come in if needed. Moving into centre midfield, and with Lucas Bergvall out for the remainder of the season, Bissouma is expected to come in and anchor this midfield tonight. And to be fair to the guy, he's quietly been rebuilding his form at just the right time. And he was excellent in the first leg against Bodø Glimt, constantly breaking up play, winning second balls, and using possession smartly to keep Spurs in control, which is not something we actually usually associate with Yves Bissouma. He's really frustrating a lot of times when he is in possession, giving it away very, very cheaply. And tonight, we're going to need him to be able to do the exact same, regain possession and recycle it quickly to help give Spurs control in the midfield in what is likely to be a chaotic midfield battle on an artificial pitch. One area of improvement for Yves Bissouma is his shooting. He had 4 or 5 efforts from distance against Bodø Glimt in the first leg last Thursday, but failed to test the keeper with any of them. Still though, if he can continue picking up those pockets of spaces around the edge of the area, it could be a promising route for a goal tonight, because if we can just get one, I feel like we will progress to the final. That said, discipline will be absolutely key tonight. On that artificial surface, the game is going to move very quickly. What we can't afford to do is get into rash tackles and get unnecessary bookings, which is what Bissouma is largely known for at his time here at Tottenham Hotspur. It's absolutely crucial we don't pick up any early bookings in this game, because if we do, we could end up losing control of this midfield, and we don't want to do that. One of Bissouma's midfield partners will certainly return to the lineup tonight after being rested at the weekend, and that is Rodrigo Bentancur. With both James Maddison and Lucas Bergvall sidelined tonight, Bentancur becomes the heartbeat of this midfield, and it also makes him our most technically gifted player in this midfield tonight. This is the sort of night where we're going to need a calm head in the midfield, someone to take control, slow the game down when needed, and lead the charge on the attack but also on the press. And I think this is a real opportunity for Bentancur to be able to step up tonight into that leadership role and control proceedings tonight. In possession, Bentancur offers composure in tight spaces, I'd argue intelligent use of the ball as well, and the ability to be able to dictate the tempo of the game. And this is going to be absolutely crucial tonight against a Bodø Glimt side that will press us aggressively and look to disrupt our rhythm at every opportunity. Out of possession, Bentancur will need to close down Patrick Berg as soon as he does get the ball. He is the heartbeat of Bodø Glimt's midfield, and he pulls all the strings. So in order to stop him dictating the game, Bentancur has to get close to him. To complete the midfield, with James Maddison being sidelined by knee ligament damage, Tottenham are without their chief creator tonight, the conductor, the man who's been involved in the majority of our goals in the Europa League knockout stages, which leaves a huge creative void. And tonight, Dejan Kulusevski is the one tasked with filling that void. Now, Kulusevski started the season in electric form, but since returning from that foot injury, he struggled to reach those same heights. The talent is undeniable. 10 goals and 10 assists across 48 appearances. It's not bad output, but the question is whether Dejan Kulusevski can raise his game and deliver when it matters most. And the thing is with Kulusevski, the ability is there. He's got the vision, he's got the work ethic, his dribbling can unlock even the most stubborn of defences, but decision making in the final third is where the big question mark comes over, and that is one area of his game which he really needs to improve on if he wants to take his game to the next level. This match almost feels like a defining moment for Kulusevski at Tottenham. It's a chance for Kulusevski to maybe silence his doubters. Moving into the forward line, and while Son has returned to training, this game I think comes too soon for him, and I think Postecoglou also confirmed that he won't be back until the Europa League final, and that's the next Europa game he will be available for. And with the artificial surface tonight, there's no need to risk Sonny either. That leaves Richarlison, Udebur, or potentially Tell all competing for the starting role on left wing tonight. Now, in fairness to Tell, he was absolutely outstanding at the weekend and arguably our best player on the pitch, providing a constant threat down the left flank, offering directness and energy in possession. However, it's of my belief that Ange Postecoglou will opt to go with Richarlison once again. Credit to Richarlison, since he's returned from injury, he has been involved in both goals and assists, and he was integral in setting up our strong start against Bodø in the first leg. While his inclusion last week was met with some scepticism amongst the fanbase, none of us really understood it. However, it worked absolutely perfectly. I think Richarlison's area threat in the box and his positioning on the counter caused him a lot of problems on the night. Now, don't get me wrong, his finishing is a little bit rusty, but he's shown the right instincts to get into those dangerous positions. If you keep getting in the right positions, everything else will follow. However, the real reason why I do expect Richarlison to start tonight is his ability in the press and his willingness. Last Thursday, he was tasked with disrupting the right-sided centre-back when he was in possession. His intelligent positioning on the press cut off the supply to Bodo's right-back, and it looked like a deliberate tactic from Postecoglou, and I think one that he will likely want to replicate again tonight. I think the whole idea is to cut off the supply to the fullbacks, force that ball in the middle, and overpower them in the midfield. Secondly, I also think Bodø Glimt will come out strong from the offset, buoyed by their late goal and the advantage of the home crowd in the Arctic conditions. We don't need to overcomplicate things tonight, build intricate play out from the back, especially for the first 15-20 minutes. We don't need any stupid mistakes. Richarlison combined with Dominic Solanke up front gives us an outlet to relieve early pressure, especially if their press is on point and we need to take a more direct approach. Now, of course, this all does hinge on how fit Dominic Solanke is and how many minutes is in his legs. However, this has been recorded before the press conference has come out, but reports leading up to this have suggested that Dom Solanke will be back fit, and he did board the plane. So if Solanke isn't fit, that then means Matisse Tell will obviously come in on the left-hand side with Richarlison moving up front. Moving on out to right wing, Udebur did get himself on the score sheet against West Ham at the weekend, but aside from that goal, he offered little else, to be quite frank, and I was very disappointed in him. I thought it was a real good opportunity to put himself in the argument to start at right wing tonight, but because of his performance, that likely means he's going to miss out tonight, and in such a high European game tonight, I expect Ange Postecoglou return to one of his favourite members of the team, and that is Brennan Johnson. Now, despite my criticism of Brennan Johnson, to be fair to the guy, he has been one of Spurs' most productive attackers this season, leading the team in both the Premier League and Europa League with goals. 17 goals and 4 assists across all competitions, and he made an important impact in the first leg with a very good header back across goal, which on the night set the tone for a very dominant performance from Tottenham Hotspur. His pace on the counter tonight will be vital. Bodø Glimt do like to commit numbers forward at home, so if we can get that ball, put it in behind, there will be space for Johnson to get in behind him tonight, and hopefully the end product is on point tonight and he takes those chances that come his way. One concern remaining heading into this game with Brennan Johnson is his defensive work rate. Does Brennan Johnson have the work ethic to be able to not only go on the press so that we don't just allow them to keep coming forward, but also at times get back, track back, and help out Pedro Porro. It's a huge concern of mine. And if he fails to do that tonight, takes one moment off, that's where it is going to come back to bite you. And in a European tie, that cannot happen. So his work rate has to be on point tonight, even if he's not on point going forward. And then lastly, that brings me on to the guy up front, and it will be big Dominic Solanke, who's actually had a good European campaign this season, contributing 4 goals and 4 assists across the campaign. With Dominic Solanke tonight, his hold-up play is going to be so important. If he fails to hold up that ball, it's just going to keep coming back one way all game. He needs to get a grip of that ball, hold that ball, win free kicks, but also try and get turned and lay it off to others or play them in. He has an absolutely crucial role tonight. And if a chance falls his way, he has to be absolutely clinical. I know he's struggled at large parts of this season to find the back of the net. He scores one tonight. He goes down as a hero and all is forgotten. So a big night for him. So guys, that is my lineup to take on Bodø Glimt tonight. That is Vicario in goals, Pedro Porro at right back, Romero and Van de Ven at centre back, with a Destiny Udogie at left back, Basuma in the midfield with Bentancur and Dejan Kulusevski playing a little bit ahead of him, with Johnson off the right, Richarlison off the left, and Solanke through the middle. I've given my reasons why I've picked them as well. Please get your predicted lineup in the comment section below. The reasons why you've picked them, anything you agree or disagree with what I've said in this video. Most importantly, let me know how you're feeling ahead of this game and your score prediction. Are you confident or are you nervous? Guys, please smash that like button on your way out. I'll see you back here at 5 o'clock for the pre-match build-up. As always, come on, you Spurs.